Yeah, I think if you look in this, you can say the paid VMSs that I mentioned, then these are really huge and complex systems that you pay for, and they have all these also. Especially, maybe I think some of these are originated in US, and they have very much things that are aligned with US laws, etc. So maybe if you have very complex needs in all of these types, maybe you need to look at some of these paid solutions. What we have done in Onsider is basically, you can say, to make a solution that solve 80 to 90% of the problem, and that is that you can upload your own contracts, and that means that you can very easily use your own contract with the vendor, and then you can have input from your legal department saying, okay, for these type of things we want these contracts, for these type of things we want these contracts, and then you can make that. But you can say the scope for Onsider at least is vendors more than it is, let's say, a temporary employment of a person that, let's say, you hire to be temporarily hired as a, let's say, internal workforce for 6 months. So depends on. I would not be able to answer that what system is the best, but I would say if your scope can be handled with, for instance, our system, then it's a very easy, lightweight, easy to use solution. But it might be that we find that if the person who said this question, that we find that, okay, here it does not work, and then maybe you need to look at the, you can say, the big suppliers of these massive systems like Beeline, Fieldglass, Elitis, these kind of systems. And maybe there's also, I'm not sure actually where you can say the traditional HR systems like Workday or similar, they are, because that could also be a combination that you say, okay, some parts of this are actually within the scope of our HR system, where our VMS system, we only use that for truly external vendors. So that would probably be my recommendation, because it's well aligned with our system, but you might have other needs, and maybe so that's very subjective. But I think those are the options.
Your take would be that, let's say, also Onsider or VMS system is not only for a specific type of workers. It would not, or like from a specific industry, it would not only be IT freelancers or external workforce in the IT space, but from all different industries.
I would say yes, there are elements of that. For instance, the preferred vendors in Onsider. There you can create any vendor you want, and that vendor can bid in any type of resource that they want, and you can hire them with a contract, etc. So that is indifferent. The preferred vendors part of Onsider is indifferent of what type of person and what skills it is. But you can say this vendor universe that we have, that is the vendors we have in there are IT and management consultant companies. So they are not construction worker suppliers, for instance. So they're part of the systems that you can use, the vendors that you know, they can do whatever you want and have direct contracts. But you can say this thing about exploring new vendors, that is in the IT and management consultant part.